So you might be wondering why Chloe's name is in the title of this video, and that's because I needed you to click on it. And chances are you probably support Chloe, and regardless of what I say, you would follow her to the end of the earth. But I found somebody who I think is very important that you need to know. You need to know about him. And his name is Donovan from Fathers Lives Matter. And you might be thinking, well, Bax, why should I listen to you after you said all this stuff about my queen? And I would say because she did an interview with him, because she jumped on his Instagram and did an interview, and they talked some real shit. And while I believe Chloe's heart was in this in the very beginning, I don't think it is anymore. But I know for a fact in the bottom of my heart that Alan's heart and his soul is invested in this movement that is 11,000 people strong. This Instagram account has 11,000 followers on it. And he pulls people on. He pulled on a dating coach. He pulled on, I think he was a football guy. I'm not much of a sports guy, as you can tell. I mean, my biceps are really lacking, and I don't really watch sports. So, but he's a football guy. He posts memes that relate to men's issues. He is an all-around, everyday guy who just wants to do good, and I think that's important. I think a man running a men's rights movement just makes sense because a woman simply couldn't understand. If Chloe had to go to court for her child, she would get that child no matter what. And sure, maybe her ex was shitty, but that is besides the point. She would get that child pretty much no matter what. And I think it's important to have somebody who's been there, who's done that, who understands, be the face. Alan deserves to be the face of this movement, and he deserves to be there for fathers' rights and for fathers alike because he's been there and he's won. And he said on the phone call, he gave me 20 minutes of his time today. I had reached out and I said, hey man, I want to use some of your content for a video that I'm putting together. And he said, give me a call. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to speak with you. And that's what we did. We spoke on the phone, face to face on the video chat. And he's a genuine dude. And I think it's very important, right? Like here's a clip from one of his lives.
It really truly opened up my eyes to what everything was going on. And then when I started this page and started connecting with other fathers who had it even worse than what I had it blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I could not believe that in the United States of America, we are supposed to be the #1 country in the world, depending on what you look at. This was going on, and it was encouraged.
Alan talks about being a father and being there for your kids. He talks about the struggles. He talks about men's mental health. He talks about the court system. He fought in the court system to get his son. And I think that is more powerful than some girl fucking selling her nudie tooties to everybody around the corner. And like I said, I have nothing against sex work, but somebody in her position needs to be held higher. And somebody who is at a point held up higher is Alan. And, you guys might be like, oh, well, you're just beating him off. Like, watch some of his content. His links will be down below. Here's another clip.
The way that you put it is very eloquent because there's not a lot of that these days. There's not a lot of guys that have the basic fundamentals. Because when I look at it, when I look at what I went through for my son, when I look at what you're going through, and what you're doing for your son, to me, that's a basic core fundamental that, we don't give up on our children. Yeah, life sucks and it's really the shits right now for a lot of guys, but it's about not giving up. You're there every day. You're there for the fight. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down at all. It's about how many times you get up. That's the way I look at it.
He pulls people on no matter what color you are, no matter what age you are, no matter what. He brings on women, men to talk about these issues, to showcase what real men go through, what really happens. And some of you guys said, oh, Bax, you're a feminist. I'm not a feminist. I'm not a menist. Menist? That sounds like a bad word. But I just want fairness. Equality is actually kind of a bad word because we aren't all equal. What we need is fairness across the board. Men and women can do different things. We need fairness. We need a balance. And I think Alan can bring a balance. I think Alan has invested his time, his life, his soul into making something that could be so fantastic, but people are giving him the time of day. 11K followers is a ton, but I don't think enough eyes are on him. I think he deserves a showcase. And he did an interview with Chloe, and I want to ask, why is he not front and center on her TikTok? Like, at least once a month. This guy deserves it. This is a guy that's fighting tooth and nail. And I may not agree with what Chloe's done, but that's me and that's my opinion. And, that doesn't really make that much of a difference. But why is he not getting the spotlight when she could be giving it to him? Somebody who's been there, man. And that's what really bothers me too. Alan deserves the spotlight. And he just simply isn't getting enough. Somebody with real passion, real drive, real heart. And I think you should take all of that into consideration while I play a few more of his clips.
And, I'm glad that you're doing that, because the vets need a voice on all fronts. I mean, good God, how many homeless vets do we have in the United States?
I was a part of some of that stuff too, here in the Savannah, Georgia area. Some folks got together and pooled some money together and started building these tiny houses for vets.
And 9 times out of 10, the judge will automatically look at the mother and go, okay, you got the kids. And if the dad, is living in that house, he's gone, that can cause irreversible damage to a father that they'll never, ever be able to recover from. And it's, it's systematic, it's systemic, and it's oftentimes it's encouraged. That's the scary thing about it. It's oftentimes encouraged. And I'm just like, wow, what freaking world are we living in where this is the go-to?
Pulling people onto lives and giving them a voice is not exactly easy. Having to coordinate these live streams, having to put together and to vet and talk to and, take in all of these people's stories while he had to do it himself is probably the toughest thing that somebody could do. He's been there. He's done it. He sees what these people are going through, and he sits and he listens and he voices his opinion strongly, and he's passionate. You can see it in some of these clips, man. You can see it, the emotions. Because men aren't just simply drones. We have emotions. He talks about all of this stuff. And I think y'all should give him a chance. You might not like me. You might, in fact, hate me. But you should give him a chance.